After a 6-year wait, Kojima Productions' Death Stranding 2 On the Beach has finally arrived on the PS5. Set 11 months after the end of the first game, we return to Sam Porter Bridges, played by the legendary Norman Reedus, for another epic delivery mission. This time, he's tasked with reconnecting the Americas via new plate gates, portals linking Mexico to a mysterious post-apocalyptic Australia. The goal? Hook isolated survivors up to the Chiral Network and save humanity from extinction. It's a weighty setup, but the beauty here is how Death Stranding makes even a bag of packages feel personal. Yes, Sam still literally trips and spills everything in a slapstick moment right at the start. Kojima's cast returns. We have Norman Reedus as Sam, Lea Seydoux as Fragile, Troy Baker as Higgs, plus new voices like Ellie Fanning's enigmatic young girl codenamed Tomorrow. The story is still mysterious and symbolic, exploring themes of connection, family, and survival. Without spoiling anything, know that Lou, Sam's adopted daughter, plays a major role this time. The tone is serious and cinematic, with emotional beats punctuated by Kojima's trademark oddities. Everything from ghostly robotic enemies to, well, you'll see. The big question we'll be answering is, does the beach stick the landing? In this review, we'll break down the gameplay improvements, combat, traversal, story elements with it being spoiler safe, and new features that set this sequel apart. So let's dive in, no pun intended. The core gameplay of Death Stranding is still its package delivery loop, but on the beach it is supercharged with player choice. Early on, Sam can unlock cars and motorcycles to blaze through the vast deserts and mountains of Mexico and Australia. These vehicles are highly customizable. You can slap on extra batteries to increase range, install gun turrets for defense, or even solar panels and a trailer for cargo. All this mobility makes traversal much less of a slog. And yes, you can even tow multiple cargo trailers behind the truck, and Sam's back will be very grateful to you. Infrastructure building also gets a major upgrade. Monorails are here. You can lay down an elevated train line connecting outposts and carry huge loads at once. Bridges, tunnels, and vehicle as bridges return from the first game, but now you also have the option to construct high-capacity rail lines. I admit, watching freight trains roll across the outback gave me the same warm fuzzy feeling I got the first time I built a steel bridge in Death Stranding 1. It's very satisfying. Of course, the world is gonna push you back. Natural disasters are a constant threat now. Earthquakes rip up roads and raging sandstorm can bury your path. During one delivery, I had to loop miles around the desert because a gatequake had collapsed the highway ahead. The dynamic weather system lives up to its hype. Dusty twilight storms, blowing sands, and floods can appear out of nowhere. There's a full day-night cycle too, so you can sleep at camps to skip your preferred time. Sunrise explorers rejoice! Nighttime encounters definitely feel more spooky and tense, especially when ghostly enemies emerge from under the moonlight. In short, traveling is faster and more varied than before. Where the first game often felt like survival hiking, Death Stranding 2 lets you decide if you want to race past danger or slog through it on foot. And yes, you can still trip over a rock and use your load. But at least now there's usually a tricked out buggy close to you to help out. The sequel dramatically expands on combat. You can still sneak like a ghost through enemy camps, but guns blazing is now a valid style. Kojima himself noted that players wanted more freedom in how to approach threats. So, if you want to stock up on assault rifles and shotgun shells, Sam's arsenal is bigger and targeting is easier. Yes, you can finally aim for body parts in first-person mode if you like. Enemies have diverse behaviors. Supernatural beach things lurk underground and flap up as soon as they sense you. They're slower this time, but pack a punch. Hostile humans, bandits, and even rogue terrorists patrol roads and bases. They will shoot you on sight. And, new to the series, are ghost mechs, clunking supernatural robots that ooze out of the sand and attack with blades. They move oddly, but hitting one with a shotgun is satisfying, even if Sam usually falls in the mud immediately after. To take on these falls, Sam has new gadgets. We picked up holographic grenades, sticky bombs that project a fake decoy of Sam, tricking BTs into going after it instead of you. It's an amazing stealth tool for slipping past a cluster of ghostly enemies. There are also electrified poles. Think of them like shock batons to stun or slow enemies. And of course, guns, grenades, swords, all the more lethal gear. In vehicles, you can mount Gatling guns or rocket launchers too, making rampaging through a camp feel like a mini Michael Bay movie. If you prefer subtlety, stealth is still strong. Sam's tried and true stealth suit returns, absorbing BT presence and giving extra crouch stability. Sneak past or use a cargo boat to barrel through encampments quietly. It's your call. The A-Pass skill tree now divides upgrades into combat, stealth, and service ship branches. Deliver more packages, and Sam's delivery stats improve. Engage in fights, and his gunplay stats get better. In either case, leveling feels organic, and deliveries make you a better porter, sneaking past BTs make you a better ninja. Makes sense. We found ourselves specializing. One playthrough bumped up weapon accuracy and gear weight capacity, another focused on stealth to be called the Invisible Frightman. Let's talk about the story and themes of the game. And warning, there will be no major spoilers, but there might be some minor ones, so you've been warned. As teased, on the beach, you'll be bridging continents. You start in Mexico, reconnecting cities to the network, then jump through a legendary plate gate to Australia. The Australian outback and even snowy mountains is vast and varied. It feels fresh compared to the US landscapes of the original. The plate gate itself is a haunting image, giant floating rock structures in the distance that hints the game's surreal tone. Plot-wise, the world is still recovering from the first Death Stranding extinction event. Humanity is connected, but a new crisis looms. Without spoiling specifics, the story delves deeply into Lou's mystery and Sam's past. Fragile ropes Sam into extending the network westward, partly to seek answers about Lou, Sam's adopted baby child. Along the way, you meet new and reoccurring characters: Ellie Fanning's Tomorrow, heartbroken drawbridge pilots, kooky scientists, a new Kojima-style ensemble. Even Guillermo del Toro's Dead Man appears, yes, voiced by the man himself. The villain of the first game, Higgs, is back, commanding those ghost mechs we mentioned. His motivations are mysterious as ever, raising the stakes globally. But Kojima balances all that with quiet, emotional moments. You witness breathtaking set pieces, such as city-wide car chases through collapsing bridges, and small, poignant scenes like two survivors bickering by a campfire, a BB softly crying in its pod. Overall, the beach feels tonally similar to the original, heavy on symbolism, with slow burn and an emphasis on people connecting. The dialogue still drips with philosophical line delivery, sometimes a bit melodramatic even. The game explores themes of human contact versus isolation, parental love, and hope. It's a thoughtful narrative meant for players who don't mind pausing to soak in the details. The visual storytelling of this game is absolutely breathtaking. Sweeping panoramas of dune-covered ruins or a rain-soaked night scene with ethereal blues is truly cinematic. The music also underscores the emotion perfectly. We laughed when Sam's cargo spilled in the mud at a crucial moment, and we later genuinely teared up in a quiet scene at sundown. The journey really feels meaningful. So, what's new and different in this game? Well, Death Stranding 2 builds on the first game but adds a wealth of new content and mechanics. Key additions include new regions like Mexico and Australia, two large open world maps with desert canyons, coastal outbacks, and snowy peaks. Instead of just the US, these environments feel unique and challenging. The dynamic weather and disasters. Sandstorms, floods, and gatequakes reshape terrain in real time. You reroute your deliveries when roads collapse or storms roll in. It keeps the traversal fresh and unique. Vehicles and tools. Easily hop into trucks, motorcycles, and even helicopters. Yes, helicopters, for faster travel. All vehicles can be also upgraded. You can have extra batteries, customized wheels, mounted turrets. Sam also fabricates new gadgets. holographic grenades, shock gloves, portable ladders, etc. Monorail construction. A whole new late game feature, building a continent spanning rail network to transport massive cargo loads. It's a builder mode on steroids. The A-Pass kill trees. The automated porter assist system now lets you invest skill points in combat, stealth, or service ship branches. In short, you have more progression choice. The day and night cycle. The passage of time is now real. Night plays differently than day. You can sleep in your room to fast forward to dawn, which solves long waits, but some cutscenes adapt to the time you choose. Enemies. In addition to classic BT and bandits, Australia is crawling with ghost mechs, spectral robotic foes. There is also the Watcher, a flying ghost boss, and smarter human adversaries. The story is more global, introducing concepts of plate gates and delving into Sam's backstory and Lou's origins. It feels like a bigger chapter in the Death Stranding saga. Each of these new elements change the feel of the game. It's still a Tarkov delivery epic, but On the Beach definitely plays more of a fusion of Death Stranding and Metal Gear Solid 5. More gadgets, more combat options, yet the same deliberate pace when you want it. We mentioned the plethora of things that Death Stranding 2 does right, but what does it get wrong? What are the cons? Well, one of them is the reduced challenge. A lot of people note that the original's grind and survival difficulty is much smoother now. Yes, falling on your face is still funny, but with all the vehicles and upgrades, it's easier to zoom past obstacles. The tactical struggle of Death Stranding 1 is somewhat softened, which might disappoint some purists who love the survival mode feel of the game. Another thing is the underused creative tools. The game gives you a lot of toys, but not all of them feel essential. For example, I never once felt the need to use the new zipline tool. Driving around was faster. Some players say that it's a bit too easy to skip the ingenious gadgets and just brute force solutions. Another issue is combat can feel too simplistic. While more optional fights are welcome, they sometimes lack depth. Ghost mechs can be dispatched by spamming the same tactic, shoot and roll away, instead of requiring an elaborate strategy. In other words, the shooting is fun, but it's not as deep as a pure FPS. And one issue that persists in almost all of Kojima's games is the pacing. The story is long and obtuse at times. If you don't have the patience for Kojima's epic monologues or multi-hour cutscenes, it can drag. Also, On the Beach is absolutely packed with content. 30 plus hour campaigns are common. There's a lot to learn and remember, and it's rewarding, but it can be overwhelming. So, what's the overall impression and who is this game for? Well, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach is an ambitious sequel that successfully expands its world and systems. It refines the first game's core and adds impressive new layers, vehicles, combat, and open regions that feel grand in scheme. Visually and sonically, it's a triumph. Every screenshot looks ready for a movie posters. For fans of the first game, it delivers deep answers and even more Kojima flair. This isn't a quick twitch shooter or a light platformer. It's best enjoyed by players who appreciate a thoughtful, slower paced adventure with emotional narrative beats. If you love exploring, building networks with strangers, and soaking in cryptic sci-fi lore, you'll find On the Beach as a rewarding journey. If, however, you were hoping for a completely different genre, say a fast-paced battle royale, this probably isn't the game for you. In conclusion, Death Stranding 2 is a clear step forward in terms of polish and depth. Its pros far outweigh the cons, and it's been receiving strong critical acclaim. We definitely recommend it to anyone who loved the original or who craves a unique cinematic open-world experience. It's a must-play for Kojima fans. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this review of Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, please drop us a like and subscribe for more in-depth reviews. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos for more thoughtful analysis of your favorite games. Thanks for watching and happy delivering.